Hi everyone, I'm here to explain to you guys about how to analyze the internal force and the internal moment. Okay, and this is the part 2 of the explanation. The first thing that you should know is whenever we want to analyze the internal force and internal moment distribution, we have to see the continuity of the structure. For example, from A to this particular force, we can see that there is a continuity there because there is no force in the middle of in between A and B here. Okay, and after that, between P here and another force here, 2P, there will be a continuity as well here because there are no force there. Then here as well between 2P and roller P, okay, there is a continuity there as well. Okay, when the things is continuous, we can represent that continuous part with one equation, one distribution equation. Okay, but if it's not continuous, we have to separate it into several equations. For example, okay, for example, for the whole structure here, you can see that we have to divide it into three different equations because from A here to this particular force, we can say that it continues. Okay, but here at P, we can't continue it even longer. We can't because there is a concentrated force P here. So concentrated force and concentrated moment will make the things not continuous. Okay, and then from this P to another force 2P there will be another equation there. And then from 2P to the roller P, there will be another equation. So in total, there will be three equations, which represents the first equation. It is for this part. Okay, this is the first part, and then this will be the second part, and this will be the third part. So the first part, it's the first equation. It's supposed to work for 0 x L per 4. And the second one supposed to work from L per 4 x 3L per 4. Why 3L per 4? Because the distance between the 0 point here to this particular point will be 3L per 4. Then the last equation is supposed to work for x equal to from 3L per 4, okay, until L. That's the thing. Okay, another example. This is another example. You can see here, if we take a look at this deeper, we can see which part is continuous and which part is not. From this to this, it will be continuous because there are nothing there. Then from this to this, okay, it will be continuous as well because even though there is a W outside W 800 Newton per meter, but the W, the distributed force, is continuous. So we can represent this part with one equation. And previously, we can represent this part with one equation. So this is the first part. This is the second part. Now, from this to this, it will be the third equation. And the last one, from this to this, it will be the fourth equation. Okay. You can see here, from this point to this point, why it's continuous, because nothing is there. But suddenly here, there is a concentrated moment. So we have to stop, the continuity stop there. So we have to stop the equation. So the equation is supposed to go, okay, it's supposed to be okay from this point to this point. Okay, the fourth equation is the same from this point to this point. Okay, and the last one is this one. If we see this one, okay, there will be two equations in order to represent the internal force and the internal moment. The first equation will belong to this part. The second one will belong to this part. Something like that. Okay. And for today, I will try to explain to you guys, if we have a distributed external distributed force, how should we do with the internal force and internal moment? How can we find the internal force distribution and internal moment distribution? Okay, let's try with this one. Okay, for this one, what should we do? From the beginning, what should we do? Is, as usual, we have to try to solve for the external force at A and external force at B. As usual, it's always like that. Okay, we have to solve for external force at A and external force at B. How can we solve that? We have to draw the free body diagram, of course. Okay, if this is the free body diagram, then at A there will be AY, AX, because it's a pin joint, and at B it will be PY. Okay, and beside that there will be a distributed force from X equal to 300 millimeters to X equal to 800 millimeters. Okay, and in order to calculate the external force, we can assume that this distributed force works at its centroid. Okay, and the total concentrated force, which can represent the whole distributed force, it will be the magnitude of the distributed force multiplied by the length of where the distributed force works. Okay, so 500 millimeter is the same as half a meter. That's why we can just calculate that the force in the distributed force there is supposed to be 4 kilonewton per meter multiplied by half a meter. So it will be 2 kilonewton. So that's why, and it's supposed to work at the centroid. So that's why we can just draw it this way, 2 kilonewton. And the distance here is supposed to be 250 millimeter from the right, and from the left it's supposed to be 550 millimeters. Okay, using sigma fx equal to 0, what we will get is Ax is equal to 0. Then using sigma moment at A equal to 0, what we will get is 550 multiplied by 2 kilonewton, okay, minus Py multiplied by 800 millimeters is equal to 0. And then we can get Py. Py here will be 1100 divided by 800. Kilonewton. Okay, supposed to be 1.375 kilonewton. Okay, that is Py. Using sigma Fy equal to 0, what we will get will be Ay plus Py, which is 1.375 kilonewton minus 2 kilonewton will be equal to 0. That's why Ay will be 0.625 kilonewton. Okay. Then we will continue with the internal force in the next slide. Okay, let's draw again the free body diagram. Yeah. Now I draw again the distributed force because I want to see the distribution of the internal force. Okay, just now what we have here is 0.625 kilonewton, and what we have here is 1.375 kilonewton. And the distributed force is 4 kilonewton per meter. Okay, now as I told you before, we can divide this into two equations. Okay, the first equation is supposed to work from x equal to 0 until x equal to 300 millimeters. And the second equation is supposed to work from x equal to 300 millimeters until x equal to 800 meters. So this is part of the second equation, and this is part of the first equation. Okay, so because of that, we have to do two cutting. This is the first cutting, and this is the second cutting. Okay, and later we will have to draw the internal shear force and internal moment. Okay, now I will do the first cutting. Okay, in the first cutting, my free body diagram will be like this. Okay, and on the left edge, I will have 0.625 kilonewton. And then on the right edge, because I cut it there, as usual, we will put the positive shear force and positive moment there. Shear force and moment with the positive direction. So shear force supposed to be going down and moment supposed to be going counterclockwise. Let me think first. Now using sigma Fy equal to 0, we can calculate that phi is equal to 0.625 kilonewton. Then after that, using sigma moment, and the distance here is supposed to be x, okay? Using sigma moment on the right equal to 0, what we will have will be and counterclockwise positive. What we will have will be moment minus 0.625 multiplied by x equal to 0. Okay, using this we can get the equation of moment, and this is the equation of moment for the first part. Okay, so for the first part we get this, the phi is constant and the moment is linear. Okay, now we can draw it here in the shear force diagram. In the shear force diagram, what we can get is this positive, positive until this point. Okay, and the value here is 0.625 kilonewton. Okay, then the next one will be the drawing of the internal moment. Okay, in order to draw this, the easiest way is I want to check the moment at x equal to 0. The value there is supposed to be 0, and the moment at x just before 300 millimeter. No, not just before, exactly at 300 millimeters, 0.3 meter. Okay, you can calculate it there. What is the value? 0.625 multiplied by 0.3 meters. I need a little help here with the calculator. 0.625 multiplied by 0.3. Okay, the value is 0.1875 kilonewton meter. So it's supposed to be 0 here, then it's supposed to be there, and the value here is supposed to be 0.1875 kilonewton meter. So we finished the first part. Now how can we finish the second part? Okay, for the second part, as usual, the easiest for us to calculate it is using the right side of the cut, this one, because I don't want to calculate what is already there in the left side. So I don't want to calculate that. So I use the right side of the cut. So my drawing will be like this. Although it is okay for you as well to calculate it from the right side of the cut. Okay, so this is my drawing of the external forces and external distributed load. Okay, then at the left side of the card here, as usual, we have to draw the positive shear force and positive moment. Okay, now we can calculate as usual again using sigma Fy equal to 0. Okay, if just now the distance is 0.8 meter, so here the distance is supposed to be 0.8 meter minus x. Okay, using sigma Fy equal to 0, what will I get will be V plus 1.375 kilonewton minus 4 kilonewton per meter multiply by the distance here, this one. Okay, multiply by the distance where the distributed force cover the distance. Okay, 0.8 minus x equal to 0. Then what we have is V is equal to minus 1.375 kilonewton plus 3.2 minus 4x okay, so your V there will be 3.2 minus 1.375, 1.825, okay, minus 4x. So that's your equation for the V. Now, using sigma moment at the left edge, equal to 0, what will I get there will be moment minus 1.375 multiplied by 0.8 minus x because clockwise is positive, then plus the force due to the distributed force here, it's supposed to be 4 kilonewton per meter multiplied by 0.8 minus x. That's the force, okay? And the distance from the left edge is supposed to be half of this. Because as usual, whenever we have distributed force like this, in order to calculate the moment, we have to calculate everything from the centroid. So the concentrated force which represent this particular 4 kilonewton per meter will be this 4 kilonewton per meter multiplied by the distance 0.8 minus x, and the location of the concentrated force is supposed to be exactly in the middle. So the distance from the left edge is supposed to be 0.8 minus x divided by 2. That's why we will have 4 0.8 minus x. This is the force multiplied by the distance. 0.8 minus x divided by 2. And everything will be equal to 0. Okay, then from this, you can get that the results will be, this one will be minus 1.375, 0.8. This one is 1.1 minus 1.1, then plus 1.375x. Okay, then plus 3.2, then minus 4x, oh sorry, I made a mistake here. So what I will get there will be 3.2 multiplied by 0.8 divided by 2. This is the constants, 1.28. Then 3.2 plus minus 1.6x. Okay. Then after that, from this one as well, 4x, 2x, 2x minus 2x multiplied by 0.6. Sorry, so this one is supposed to be minus 3.2x, and then the last one supposed to be 2 plus 2x square equal to 0. Okay, then we collect all the terms together, and what we will have will be m equal to the x squared, join it together, 2x squared, then the x, join it together, 3.2 minus 1.375 plus 1.825x. Then the last one will be the constant. The constant will be this and this. So 1.1 minus 1.28 minus 0.18. So this is your equation for the moment. Okay, now we already have all the equation that we need. This is the phi for the second part, and this is the moment for the second part. But before that, we have to determine at x equal to 0.3 here. This is 0.3 meter. And here is 0.5 meter. Okay, at x equal to 0.3, what is the value of x here? Okay, and at x equal to 0.8 meters, what is the value of phi here? Okay, let's find. phi at x equal to 0.3 is equal to 4 multiplied by 0.3, 1.2. Okay, this one, the value is 0.625 kilonewton, the same as this one. So there will be no change there at that particular point. There will be no drastic change. And then phi at x equal to 0.8. Supposed to be, that's right, 4 multiplied by 0.8, 3.2. Minus. Okay, the results there will be 3.2. To 5 minus 3.2. 8 is supposed to be oh yep, yeah, this is correct. I wrote it wrongly, sorry. Supposed to be minus 1.375 kilonewton. So it's correct, right? So now we can draw it. At this point is the same as before, 0.625 kilonewton, and at x equal to 0.8 millimeters, the results will be minus 1.375 kilonewton. So later, what you can do it this way. So this is your shear force diagram. Okay, now we will continue to draw the last one for the moment. Okay, same as in the shear force. For the moment, we have to check as well. Moment at x equal to 0.3. What is the value? You can just put it there. Okay, let's calculate first. 0.3 square times 2 plus 1.825 times 0.3. Then minus 0.18. Seems like I made a mistake here because okay. And the last one will be at x equal to 0.8 meter. Yeah, most likely I make a mistake here because my result is quite wrong here. Ah, yeah, this one is supposed to be minus. That's the mistake that I make. Okay, let's try again. At 0.3, 0.3 square multiplied by minus 2. Then plus 1.825 times 0.3 minus 0.18. Yes, now it's correct. The results here is supposed to be logical now. I'm sorry, just now I made a mistake. Even lecturer can make a mistake, so you don't have to worry about it. 0.1875 kilonewton meter. And at x equal to 0.8, 0.8 square multiplied by minus 2 times plus 0.825 times 0.8 minus 0.18. That's this one is correct. The result here is supposed to be 0. Okay, so here we know. So here we know this is 0 here at this particular point. Okay, and we know that the quadratic equation is closing, and so roughly the graph supposed to looks like this. Okay, so for this particular part, the second part is supposed to follow this one. The first part here is supposed to follow this one. Then the first part here is supposed to be following this. And the second part here is supposed to be following this. Okay, I think that's all for today. See you next time.